Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to look at the Symbaroum book, The Advanced Player Guide, published by Free League Publishing. We're going to go down to the table here. I'm going to give you a general walkthrough on this book, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Advanced Player Guide for Symbaroum. Now, the Advanced Player Guide is a nice hardback book, and I love the page quality in the book. And this book here is divided, like most of the other books in Symbaroum, into three different categories or sections. You're going to have the character, you're going to have the skills, and you're going to have the tools. The characters are going to basically go in, not basically, they're definitely going to give you new races to play, new archetypes, like the first section, archetypes. Now again, archetypes aren't what you have to do. Archetypes give you an idea what you could apply to make something like that. You don't have to have all these attributes or use the suggested race or whatever to be a bounty hunter. It just gives you an idea of what would be like the optimal for it and such. So, but you can have like a suboptimal character, and that could be part of your background. You could be a really bad bounty hunter, but want to be a bounty hunter sort of thing. And it just gives more ideas for players to create new dynamic characters and create cool stories around their hero. So I really, really like how much they put in there, like Troll Singer. Just great for the archetypes. It's actually, these archetypes, even though like they're just suggestions, it's a big portion of helping guiding players. And you got new races. Now, well, I will say with these new races on here, you will need to, if you're the player, you're going to need, like the troll here a lot, you will need to ask your GM if it's okay for you to play these different classes or if it's in the session. They'll probably say yes, but in some exceptions like the undead, they might say no. They might say, well, really can't make this scenario happen with an undead character. More traits, which are great. Oops. Just a couple more traits. And then you have your boons and burdens, which are basically different things that can happen throughout the game, can get you different boons that you can pick up and different burdens that you have to take. Some more skills. So here's your abilities that you can get. Some new abilities are available in here. Lots and lots of new abilities. Lots of abilities. New mystical traditions, which is really cool. New powers and rituals, which is also really cool. And in Symbaroum, there is no limit to how many times you can actually cast spells and stuff, except for you gain corruption from them, different things. So there's going to be temporary and permanent corruption in Symbaroum. And generally, temporary corruption, if you're not crazy with it, it'll drop at the end of combat and you'll be okay. But temporary corruption can become permanent corruption. And once you receive so much permanent corruption, you can be lost. And your GM gets your sheet and he gets to do really fun stuff with your character. But not necessarily fun for the other players. Well, it is fun, but I mean, not necessarily good for the other players. So here's some alternative rules that you can put in for the game. And again, whenever you're doing anything like this, make sure the GM's aware of what you're doing. You don't want to go too far into it and have it not fit with the scenario you're doing. Here's weapons and armor. In the most part, most of the stuff in here is perfectly fine. There's just a couple things, like again, the example for the undead. Sometimes that can't work. So let your GM know ahead of time. Your GM probably should, before the sessions get started, here's some more equipment you can have, should probably mention like boundaries for what can and can't work with the scenarios they want to run. Symbaroum has a giant overarching story, so while you might not be able to be an undead player to begin with, you probably can later on. But that is the Advanced Player Guide. let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. Okay, so I love this book. If you like Symbaroum, this is a must-have book. This will allow people to have more character choices throughout the game, lets you have more occupations, lets you create more dynamic characters that can make a more diverse role-playing experience. Really well laid out, really well written, really, really good book. So, like I said, if you like Symbaroum, I highly, highly, highly recommend picking up this Advanced Player Guide. And that's my thought on this book. Thank you for watching.